And welcome back to the Toyota Sports Connection Rock Rally here in the Sports Den. I got to tell you what, we're talking college basketball. We do have the Final Four. It's the greatest weekend of the year. But more importantly about life, what a great story. The former USF star, he was the first one to have his jersey retired. He's a good man on and off the court. The one, the only, Radenko Dobras is here in the den with us. How'd I do with that, Radenko? Was that
Very
okay?
good, thank you.
How are you? Always a pleasure to see you.
I need to bring you with me every time I need to go
No problem. I can arrange that. Now, you are very successful in your field. I want to get into it. I want to get your take, obviously, on the Final Four. But for all the USF fans that remember Radenko Dobras, you're splitting your time in Jacksonville. I know you were a computer major, and you had a very high GPA when you were at USF many years ago. What are you doing these days?
Since I stopped playing basketball, I've been working in field. When I went to college, I received my computer engineering degree, and I always had the desire eventually to get into the. I played basketball for about 8-9 years professionally, and after I decided to stop playing, I started working as a software consultant, and I've been doing it, working for about 4 or 5 years now. And for the last 3 years, I've been consulting with a company from Jacksonville, Vistacon, the Johnson & Johnson family company. Good and company. They make active contact lenses. So I commute between Tampa and Jacksonville, half week in Jacksonville, half week in Tampa.
You don't want to give up Tampa, do you?
No, do you? Tampa is my first American love, you know. So I like it. I like this city. You know, it's home, away from home.
Right. You know, it's a great story, and I wish we had more time, but for the Cliff Notes version, for some of our younger viewers, you had a great career at USF. As a matter of fact, it was the most success USF ever had. In your years, 2 NCAAs, 1
yes.
NIT.
Yeah.
You have a ton of awards. Are you second, third all-time leading scorer? You're up there.
Yeah, when I finished, I was second all-time leading scorer, and I was number 1 in steals, in assists, and 3 points, and game started. You know, but some of those records getting down now.
Well, why? My question to you is, what happened? I mean, were you not able to play in the NBA? I know you had a cup of coffee with the Orlando Magic. You were in another camp for a little bit with your skills and what you did. What was the story?
Came out in the wrong time, Rock. You know, came out at a time when it was hard for a European player to break it through. You know, and at that time you had one of the greatest European basketball players, Dražen Petrović, who was sitting on the bench of Portland Trailblazers, couldn't get a minute, and he was by far the best basketball player that Europe ever produced, you know. And so you had to work there, and now every team has at least 2, 3 foreign players, you know, most of them from Europe. So came out at the wrong time. I was good enough. I always had confidence that I could play in, but just couldn't catch break with the right team at the right time. I had short stint with the Orlando Magic right after college, and the following season with Philadelphia 76ers, but couldn't catch break to hang on.
You know, you're not bitter about it too, and I can tell you this because sometimes some people are a little bit different when they come on camera and from behind the scenes. And look at the smile he's got. And you were saying that Doc Rivers, was it Doc Rivers, that actually told you that had you been playing a couple of years later, you probably would have been a #1 draft pick?
Yes, I was talking to after one USF basketball game. It was against Marquette, and Doc Rivers, because he was a Marquette alumni, so he came to watch the game. And so after the game finished, he, myself, and my old coach, Bobby Pascal, we were talking, and he says, you know, he says, I came out at the wrong time. He says, at the time nobody wanted European players. He said, but you know, if you came out 3-4 years after, so right now, if you have foreign name, you get drafted in first round.
Oh man, maybe you can make a comeback. You think? Is it past your time?
I'm still working. I'm still looking good, you know.
I hear that. All right, let's talk about the USF program before we get to the Final Four. Okay, Stan Heath comes in. It's tough when you come in. You don't have your guys, and then not only that, they're playing in the Big East, which arguably in basketball is one of the best, if not the best, conference in all of college basketball. What he did and where he's going Do you think it was a good move? Your take on USF basketball, where it is right now, Radenko?
It's still early to judge Coach Stan Heath. He just came in. He needs time to build the program, to bring his players, put them in, and work with that. So he needs a few years, especially because Big East is, as you say, it's the toughest basketball conference in the country. There is from the top to the bottom. It's toughest conference. There's so many teams, and they're all good. I mean, as you can see, there was, I think, 8 teams this year that got invited to NCAA tournament. So that says much about conference. And I like his attitude. I like his approach for the game and everything. And hopefully, he will be able to bring in some players and be able to work with them and build the program, because it's been a long time. It's been a long time since this program, that did anything. And certainly, I do love all football success that USF has enjoyed this past year. But we cannot forget. Basketball was #1 sport in the school, in the city, and I remember days when I played. They were the best sports team in the town.
Isn't that amazing?
They were Bucks, and that was about it. And we were doing great at the time. So I would love to see Stan Heath rebuilding this team, this program, and going in the right direction.
People love a winner. They love a winner. And like you were saying, when you were here and the NCAA tournament appearances and everybody was juiced up, and it is really, really, it's got a long, long way to go. Do you believe, though, that fans, because some people tell me, Radenko, they say, this isn't a basketball market. Of course, we know football is king, but I was like, well, what has USF done? Haven't gone. Look what Jim Levitt did, and I know that was football. I think if you win, it can get back to it, right?
If you win, it gets back. I mean, would anybody ever think that Tampa is going to be hockey market? We won Stanley Cup a few years ago. Would never anybody think that's going to happen? It's big city. People love the winner. And if you bring a competitive team, quality guys in there, everybody's going to be behind.
All right, I got to get to the expert, the man that starred on the court. He's very intelligent. He was an academic All-American, 3.45, something like that GPA. We'll talk about the now, though. Let me break it. Let's get your breakdown. Memphis, UCLA in the first game. Memphis, of course, #1 team of the nation. They're balanced. UCLA with the guard play. The big kid, Kevin Love, with those outlets.
Yeah.
Who do you like in this one, Radenko?
Well, before the Elite 8 game, I was not giving chance to Memphis to make it, but this game they played, they just proved everybody, that they deserve to be one of the top teams. And I love their guard play. They have 3 guys outside that they have size. They're very physical. Their shooting guard is 6'7". Their point guard freshman is about 6'4", 6'3", 6'4". That's NBA size, And I think that UCLA will not be able to handle pressure that Memphis can put on them from outside.
All right, the second game is Kansas and North Carolina. Everybody keeps talking about Tyler Hansbrough, but they're a lot more than that. They've looked so good. Can Kansas beat them? Kansas is pretty balanced, or no, Radenko?
Kansas is as balanced as team can be, and every year, Kansas like that. They never have one dominant player that comes out, but as a team, even in Roy Williams era, as a team, they're always on top there. And as you can look at their team is one of the top 4 teams in the country. They don't have one player on first all-conference team.
It's about team.
It's all team, and they have good combination from inside and outside. But matchup North Carolina, I like North Carolina. I like North Carolina because they have good punch with Tyler Hansbrough,
right,
and Ty Lawson, the point guard who was hurt big part of the season, and I think that made them better team because some other guys came out did a little bit more work and made them as a team better.
So Radenko Dobras' prediction sounds like you're going with Memphis. Sounds like you're going with North Carolina.
Yes.
Who's going to win the national championship, Radenko Dobras?
I'm taking Memphis.
You're taking Memphis
I'm
and
taking
Calipari.
Memphis. I'm taking Memphis and Calipari. I think he's gonna do it this year.
Wow.
I like their strength from outside, what they have, and in college basketball, strong guard play is very important.
All right, well, listen, anybody that wants to get a hold of Radenko, you can always do it through me. He is a good man. He's great. He's still got game. Come back. Maybe they'll do a
Anytime.
life story. I would love it. I mean this, man. In the hoop. Thank you, Radenko.
Thank you, Rock.
Always
Pleasure talking to
a
you.
pleasure. All right, we have more. Don't go away. We will be right back.